You give the best advice. You just can't take any of it. Think about that for a second. A friend calls you, completely wrecked over something, and within about 30 seconds you can see the whole thing. You know exactly what they should do. It's obvious. And then a week later, you're lying awake at 2 in the morning stuck on your own version of the exact same problem, and suddenly you've got nothing. Total blank. The same brain that was razor sharp a minute ago just stalls out. So what's actually going on there? Why can you solve everyone else's life and go completely dumb on your own? Let me walk you through it, because once you see this, you genuinely can't unsee it, and it changes how you handle every hard decision you've got coming. Start with the situations because you already know these in your bones. Your friend is dating someone who treats them badly, and you can see it from space. You've probably wanted to grab them and go, "Come on, you know what this is, crystal clear." But your own relationship, the one that's been quietly making you miserable for months? Oh, that one's complicated. You've got 14 reasons, and not one of them survives being said out loud. Or take work. Your coworker is agonizing over whether to leave a job that's obviously grinding them down, and you'd tell them to go in a heartbeat. Life's short, you'd say, you'll find something. But you've been thinking about it for a year and a half, exact same decision. Completely different person showing up to make it, or money. A friend keeps lending cash to someone who never pays it back, and you can see the pattern instantly, you can name it. Meanwhile, you've got your own version, some subscription or some habit or some person you keep funding, and you've built a whole story about why yours is different. It isn't. Or family, which might be the worst one of all. Your sibling calls you furious about how your parents are acting, and you can calmly lay out exactly why your mom does the things she does, and exactly what they should say back. Patient, wise, clear as a bell. Then your own mom says one small thing to you over dinner, and boom, you're 12 years old again. No perspective, no strategy, just reacting. Same family, same you, and none of the clarity you had on the phone an hour before. Here's my favorite one, honestly, because it's so small, the text message. Your friend reads you some message they're scared to send, and you're like, "That's fine, just send it. It's a completely normal thing to say." Meanwhile, you've got a draft sitting in your own phone that you've rewritten 9 times and still haven't sent. You are, right now, giving advice you physically cannot take. You see the pattern. You're wise for everyone but yourself. And that's not a personality flaw, it's built in. It even has a name. Psychologists call it Solomon's paradox, after the old story of King Solomon, who was legendary for handing down brilliant, clear-eyed judgment to everyone who came to him for help, and whose own personal life was, by most accounts, kind of a slow-motion disaster, wise for the whole kingdom. A mess in his own house. And it turns out that split isn't just a nice old story, it's a real, measurable thing your brain does to you, today. Here's the actual mechanism, and it's simpler than you'd think. When the problem belongs to someone else, you're standing at a distance from it. You can see the whole board. You've got no skin in the game, so your mind naturally zooms out and thinks big picture. What actually matters here? What's this going to look like a year from now? You reason in terms of what really counts. But when the problem is yours, you're not standing back anymore. You're inside it. Too close. And all the stuff that was absent a second ago floods in. The fear, the ego, the what will people think of me. And that flood narrows your view down to a pinhole. You stop seeing the board and start obsessing over one tiny square, the exact wording of the text, the one thing they said last Tuesday, the detail that does not matter. Distance makes you think about the point. Closeness makes you drown in the logistics. And there's a reason your brain is wired like this. Closeness isn't a glitch, it's a feature aimed at the wrong moment. When something is yours, you need the detail. You need to feel the stakes and notice every little thing, because you're the one who has to actually live with the choice. That zoomed-in, high-feeling mode is perfect for doing the thing. It's just terrible for deciding what the thing should be. You get handed a microscope at the exact moment you needed a map, and here's the cruel twist. The closer a problem is to your heart, the higher the stakes, the worse this gets. The decisions that matter most to you are the ones you think about worst, precisely because they matter so much. Who to be with, where to live, whether to walk away. Exactly the choices where you'd want to be sharpest. Your brain is at its foggiest. That's not bad luck. That's the mechanism working as designed. And no, before you say it, this isn't just overthinking. Overthinking would at least mean you're circling the real question. This is sneakier than that. You can spend 3 hours deep inside your own problem and still never once step back and ask the simple thing you'd ask a friend in 10 seconds. You're not thinking too much. You're thinking too close. So it's not that you're smarter about other people. Let that land. You're not. It's that you have distance from other people and zero distance from yourself. Same wisdom aimed from a better spot. Now, I want to be fair here, because there's a real flip side and I don't want to sell you a magic trick. Distance isn't always good. Being close to your own life isn't purely a bug. Sometimes that flood of emotion is actual information. If a decision makes your whole body tense up, that's data, and a coldly detached version of you might talk right over it and make a technically smart, deeply wrong choice. So the goal here is not to turn into a robot about your own life. You don't want to fully numb out. The point is that most of us are jammed permanently on the close-up setting, drowning in our own situation, when we could choose to step back and check the wider view. It's about being able to switch between the two, not living at one extreme, okay? So what do you actually do with this? Because that's the whole deal. And the good news is genuinely good. That distance you hand out for free to everyone else, you can manufacture for yourself, on purpose, in about 10 seconds. 3 ways. First one sounds ridiculous until you try it. Talk to yourself in the third person. Use your own name. Instead of "what should I do here?" ask "what should," and then your name, do here. Use your own name. I know how that sounds. But that tiny flip from I to your name does something real. It opens a little gap between you and the problem, the same gap you naturally get when it's a friend's mess and not yours. People who do this under stress actually settle down faster and think more clearly. It's one weird sentence. Try it the next time your head's spinning. Second move. The friend flip, and you have to do the whole thing, not half of it. When you're stuck, stop and ask, word for word, if my best friend came to me with this exact situation, what would I tell them? You'll have an answer almost instantly, because you always do. But here's the part everyone quietly skips. Then you have to actually go do the thing you'd tell them, not nod at it. Not admire how wise it is. Do it. You already know what it is. You've known the whole time. You're just refusing to take your own prescription because it's yours. Third move, and this one's for the 2 in the morning spirals specifically. Stretch the distance out in time. Ask yourself, is this going to matter in 10 years? Or better, picture yourself 1 year from now, looking back at this exact moment. That version of you already lived through it. It's small to them now. What would they, calm, on the other side, tell you to do tonight? That future you has all the distance you're missing right now, so borrow it. And notice what all 3 of these actually are. They're just ways to become your own friend for a second, to climb out of the problem and go stand next to it instead of inside it. That's the whole trick. And it has a name too. Researchers call it self-distancing. You're manufacturing, on demand, the exact outside perspective you give away for free to everyone you love. So here's the thing I want you to sit with. You are not short on wisdom. That's the wild part. You've got tons of it. You prove it every single time a friend calls you in a crisis and the right words just fall out of your mouth. It's all in there. You've just spent your whole life pointing it in every direction except back at yourself. So next time you're stuck, don't go hunting for some smarter answer out there. You already have the answer. Ask what you'd tell a friend, say your own name, and then, for once in your life, take the advice. If this made something click for you, a like actually helps the channel out more than you'd think. And if you're into this kind of thing, me pulling apart the quiet stuff your brain does behind your back, hit subscribe. I do a new one every week. And I'm genuinely curious. So tell me, what's the thing you'd tell a friend to do in a second that you just can't get yourself to do? I read every comment.